Hey guys, so this video is going to be an overview and demonstration of the Fishman Loudbox Micro acoustic amp. So that's this amp right here. It's a new acoustic amp that I just got. In fact, it's the first acoustic amp I ever bought. Yeah, I've previously only owned electric guitar amps, and yeah, I've always before I bought acoustic amps, I always thought, why do I need an acoustic amp, right? Because I thought acoustic guitars, you shouldn't need an amp because you know it's acoustic, so you play it and it should be loud enough, right? Well, that's not the case when you're playing either a smallish acoustic guitar that doesn't produce enough volume, or you're going to a gig that needs you to be even louder. Then yeah, that's when you would need an acoustic amp. So it's not that I'm playing any gigs or anything, but recently I just bought this thin line Takamine acoustic guitar, and well, honestly, I bought it the thin line because it is much lighter and thinner, as you guys can see. But that also means it doesn't produce as much volume as a full-size acoustic guitar. And I thought that, you know, okay, why not just stick with a full-size or a more bigger acoustic guitar with a deeper body? Why did I buy a thin line? Well, this is a more lighter and more comfortable to play, actually. And if I'm going to be playing at home mostly anyways, why not just use an amp at home, right? Because, yeah, it's not like I'll be playing outside very much. I usually just play at home and do YouTube videos and stuff. So I figured might as well just get a lighter, thinner acoustic guitar and just pair it with an acoustic amp instead, in order to get that volume that you normally get with a louder, bigger acoustic guitar. So that's basically what I'm doing. Yeah, instead of playing a bigger, louder acoustic guitar, I'm going for a more comfortable, smaller, thin line guitar like this, and I'm just using an acoustic amp instead to make up for the lack of volume. So anyways, that's why I went for the Fishman Loudbox Micro. And a little bit of background about Fishman: they're an American company mostly known for making guitar pickups, acoustic guitar pickups, and aftermarket guitar pickups. So a lot of companies like Martin and maybe not Taylor, I think Taylor uses LR bags, but a lot of different acoustic guitar companies choose to install Fishman acoustic guitar pickups factory install on their guitars. But Fishman also has a lot of good aftermarket acoustic pickups, and also they make electric guitar pickups as well. So these days I think Fishman electric guitar pickups are also getting pretty popular, especially the Fluence series. The Fluence series are like these active pickups, and they're honestly really innovative, I find. You can actually change out different tones on those pickups and everything. Like with a switch, you can totally change it from a single coil to a humbucker, and it's actually really cool. So anyways, Fishman has always been a pretty innovative company when it comes to guitar pickups, acoustic and electric, but they also make amps as well. So this is their the smallest amp in their lineup, the Loudbox Micro. They have bigger amps as well. This is the small one because I don't really need anything bigger. I'm just going to be using this at home mostly. And yeah, this is a good one for home because it's very small and light. I would say it weighs around maybe around 6 pounds. It's pretty light. And I have another guitar amp here. This is my Vox Mini5 that previously would be around the same use case as this one because it's pretty small and light as well. This one weighs around 8 pounds, so it's a little bit heavier. But this one's electric guitar mostly. I'm also going to compare these two as well. This one is specific for acoustic guitar. This one is mostly for electric guitar. I actually haven't tried this with the acoustic before, so I'm curious to compare. Does a dedicated acoustic guitar amp make a bigger difference compared to using an electric guitar amp for acoustic? Anyways, that should be interesting. So I want to compare these two. I've had the Vox Mini5 for 10 years now. I've had this amp for a long time. So this has always been my mainstay when it comes to a small portable amp, and this one really is portable because it's actually battery powered as well. The Fishman Loudbox Micro is not. Alright, so now I'm going to give you an overview of the specs of the Fishman Loudbox Micro and do a comparison. So specs are fairly similar actually between the two. This is about $250 US. That's pretty affordable for a guitar amp. And for the Vox Mini5, it's about $200 to $250, so around the same price range. They also weigh about the same as well. Both of them weigh around 8 pounds, I would say. And they both have actually the same or similar speaker size as well. This is 5.25 inch speaker. I think Vox Mini5 is about the same, 5 inch speaker, or 5.25. Wattage, the Vox Mini5 can go up to 5 watts, and you can actually put it all the way down to 0.1 watts if you want. There's a 5 watt, 1 watt, and 0.5 watt here. And the Fishman Loudbox Micro is 40 watts, so this is actually more powerful. And yeah, I would say they're both pretty portable. Just look at the size and dimensions. So let's look at the controls here. That's where they start to differ a bit. So yeah, if you look at the top here, the top panel controls. So the Fishman has two inputs. One is for a microphone and one is for the guitar. So this really is meant as a full package for acoustic performers who want to sing and play at the same time. So you have an XLR mic input here and your standard 1/4 inch guitar jack. So for the guitar input, you have your gain, low, mid, high, and reverb and chorus as well. So you got full 3-band EQ, and then you get your gain, and you get two different effects, basically chorus and reverb. You also get this phase setting, which I think is supposed to eliminate noise or something. I haven't used this setting too much, but there's a phase button right here to eliminate noise, and there's a power button right here. I'm not sure why this power button is so small. I think this could have been a switch instead. Not sure, because most guitar amps you see the power switch, right? It's pretty prominent. This one is like a little button right here. I don't know why it's just a small button. It should be a bigger button or a switch. The mic input here is also gain, low, high, and reverb. So you can actually put reverb on your voice as well. So that's another cool functionality, right? You can plug in your mic and plug in your guitar at the same time. And you can adjust the gain on the mic, and you have your 3-band EQ on the guitar, 2-band EQ on the mic, and you have a master volume here to control both of those. So yeah, that's it for the top panel. And then at the back, you have your DC input jack, and you got your aux in and your headphone out. And you also get, this is a pretty cool feature, you get, this is your mix direct input output. So you can actually have an XLR output here to your mixer. So if you are connecting this to your computer or connecting externally to something else, then you can use this one, which is an XLR out to your mixer or to your DAW or something, right, to your computer or anything. You can connect it to a preamp or connect it to a mixer or something else, right? So it's pretty cool you have that option. And yeah, you have other stuff that's good for practicing, right? Your aux and headphones. And it's worth noting that a major difference between this one and the Vox Mini5 is that the Vox Mini5, you can power it with batteries. So the new version of the Vox Mini5 is called the Vox Mini Go, and in that one you can recharge it with USB-C input. So yeah, either way, I think actually I actually still prefer the battery powered one, but the newer versions of the Vox Mini are called the Mini Go. You can power it with a mobile battery bank, which is useful, I guess. But yeah, in the older versions of the Vox Mini5, which is what I have here, you just need AA batteries to power it. Whereas the Fishman Loudbox Micro, you can't power it with any batteries. You have to plug it into the wall, which means this isn't quite as good for busking. If you're planning to use this for busking, the Vox Mini5 is still better, because this one you still have to plug it into a wall outlet. So it's not powered by any kind of battery. So, well, that's going to be an impediment if you're playing outside, right? Vox Mini5, I have demoed this before in a previous video, but this one does have a lot of controls, and there's a reason why I've kept this amp for such a long time. It's because it's so versatile. So yeah, this has also a guitar input and a mic input, except the mic input here is a 1/4 inch input, not an XLR. I would have actually preferred an XLR, like on the Fishman Loudbox Micro, which I assume has a preamp as well for the XLR input. This one, yeah, you just plug in a 1/4 inch jack, not an XLR, which is, XLR is way more common for microphones than a 1/4 inch jack. So yeah, that's one thing, like I wish this was a XLR instead, just like on the Fishman. You can do the trim and the send levels for the microphone. So that's for the mic only, the trim and send levels. There's also a bunch of different effects that you can do, both for, actually some of these work for the microphone as well. So you can do analog delay, echo, spring reverb, and room reverb for both the mic and the guitar. So the modulation effects you can do for both for the mic input and the guitar input. You get different delays, echoes, and reverbs there. And then you have a set of stuff only for guitar. So you got a compressor, chorus, flanger, and trem there. You also get a tuner here and a tap tempo. So that's pretty useful as well. Then you got tempo knobs and level knobs for the built-in drum machine. So this has a built-in drum machine as well. You got all these different types of inputs here for the drum machine: 8-beat, 16-beat, rock, metal, pop, R&B, jazz, Latin, dance, odd meter, metro. So yeah, you have all these different options for a drum machine. So it's cool that this comes with a drum machine, so that you can, even if you don't have a background track, you can still practice with it. Yeah, so anything from like rock, metal, 8-beat, 16-beat, R&B, yeah, jazz, Latin, dance, odd meter. Metro is just metronome, so you can just practice with it as a built-in metronome as well. So it's really good for practicing. Even if you don't have a background track or loop, you can always jam with this using the built-in drum machine. Then you have a built-in tuner here. You can start and stop the drum machine, and you have a headphone out, an aux in, and you can have all these different types of amp models to reproduce. So you got boutique clean, black 2x12, which is like a blackface, tweed 4x10, which is a bassman, AC15, the Vox AC15, obviously AC30, treble boost as well, or top boost actually is the model, UK 70s, which I guess is a Marshall Plexi, UK 80s, which I guess is a JCM 800 or something, UK 90s, which is like a JCM 900 I guess, Cali Metal, which I guess is a Mesa Boogie, US High Gain, which I assume is a Soldano or something, and then Line being that there's no kind of amp modeling whatsoever, it's just the signal. That's what you would use it as a pass-through, I guess. Or you would just, if you want something with no effects, basically, you would just use the line. So I guess technically I could put a microphone into the guitar and input and use it as a line as well, if you want two microphones. So then you got a gain and tone and volume, and then you got a switch from 0.1 watts, 1.5 watts, and 5 watts. So really, this thing has a lot of different features. So you guys can see how many features are on the Vox Mini5. A lot of different features. Even has a built-in drum machine and different amp simulations. Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff, different effects. So there's a reason why I kept this amp for a long time. It's just so versatile. And on top of all that, you can power it with a AC adapter or a battery. So if you take off this back plate here, you can power it with 6 AA batteries, which I have installed right now. Yeah, so you can use this without plugging into the mains, which is why you can actually use this as a busking amp. So yeah, that makes this amp extremely versatile. So I can use this as a busking amp because I can actually bring it outside and it's completely powered by batteries, or I can plug it into the wall. So yeah, very versatile amp, and it's 5 watts and everything, and it doesn't weigh a lot. So, okay, I'm going to compare it to the Fishman Loudbox Micro because part of the thing is this is a dedicated acoustic amp, right? So for me, I want to amplify my acoustic guitar. If the Vox Mini5 does a good enough job of that, then I won't really need the Fishman Loudbox Micro. The only thing that the Vox Mini5 is missing from the Loudbox Micro is really that mixed DI output and the XLR input for the microphone. That's really all that's missing. But if the Fishman Loudbox Micro is much better for amplifying acoustic guitar, because it's a specialized acoustic amp, then I will still need to keep it around and probably use that instead of the Vox Mini5. So yeah, part of those videos I want to compare to see, hey, is it worth buying the Fishman Loudbox Micro just for being an acoustic amp, or can I use the Vox Mini5 and still get usable tones out of it? We'll see, because I am using acoustic electric, right? And the Vox Mini5 is not designed for acoustic guitar, so I'm just curious, you know, how it compares with a dedicated acoustic amp like the Fishman. Okay, so I'm going to plug in the Fishman here, and I got my Takamine. This is my thin line TSP 10CS Takamine acoustic electric guitar. And yeah, Takamine is well known for having really good preamps on the guitars. So this one, yeah, it's got volume, and it's got the 3-band EQ, low, mids, and highs, and it's got a built-in tuner as well as a notch input selector right there. So it's pretty cool. Anyways, yep, I'm gonna plug it in and play something and see how it sounds. Because you guys want to hear the demo, right? Demo of the Fishman Loudbox Micro, so let's go. Alright, so now I'm gonna power on the Fishman Loudbox Micro. Yeah, again, weird that the power button is such a small button, but anyways, okay, so you guys should be able to hear it. Okay, so I have lows, mids, and highs all at 12 o'clock. They're all at the middle position. Usually that's where I'll keep it. Gain I have set to around 9 right now. And keep in mind, on the guitar itself, I have everything set to 12 o'clock too. So volume 12, low, mid, and high set to 12. many controls here instead. Okay, so that's also with reverb at 9 and chorus at around, chorus is around, actually, sorry, reverb is around 10, I guess. Yeah, chorus is around 9. So I'll turn down the chorus. Actually, I'm not sure how I feel about chorus. So reverb and gain are about 10 o'clock. Okay, so yeah, reverb, actually if I turn gain up to 12, it sounds like this. It sounds a little bit louder. Okay, so just for the control here, I'm going to turn this amp off and you guys can hear the natural sound of my Takamine without the amp. So it sounds like this. Okay, now I'm turning the amp on. So it sounds like with the amp on. Yeah, so it doesn't sound too different, and I guess it shouldn't, right? If acoustic amps shouldn't really change the sound of the acoustic guitar too much, yeah, it should just really sound kind of the same, just louder. And so yeah, I put up the gain up to 12 o'clock now, and it just sounds louder. Gain on an acoustic amp is not the same as gain on an electric guitar amp, right? Gain on an electric guitar amp will just add distortion and overdrive. But on an acoustic amp, you don't want to have distortion and overdrive on an acoustic, right? Or at least I don't think you should. But yeah, usually when I turn up the gain on an acoustic amp, it just usually means more volume. And I'll turn up the master volume to 12 too. Okay, and I can turn reverb up. You guys can hear more reverb, so reverb at 12. And I can turn chorus up, chorus about 10. So that's what's called mild chorus and medium level of reverb. So if I turn chorus up to heavy, then this is what chorus sounds like, heavy chorus. So I see why chorus could be useful for acoustic guitar because it sounds like you're playing a 12 string. So obviously it's a 6-string guitar, but when you play chorus, it's almost like you're playing like a 12-string guitar, right? It's like everything's a little bit more deeper and everything. Yeah, it sounds like I'm playing a 12-string guitar when I turn up the chorus. So that's cool. Then I'm just gonna turn down the chorus and turn up the reverb. So now this is heavy reverb. Not too bad. Doesn't overwhelm or anything. So I'm going to turn the reverb and chorus down to mild, and I'll add more gain. So this is a heavy gain. Yeah, it gets pretty loud. You can turn up the volume, the master volume as well. So yeah, it does its job. So an acoustic amp, what I noticed, this is my first acoustic amp I ever bought, what I noticed is that it doesn't really fundamentally change the sound of the guitar too much. Like you can add reverb and chorus, which is nice, and when you turn up the volume, it just sounds louder. Like, it doesn't add any overdrive or distortion like it would on an electric guitar. It just makes it sound louder, and I guess that's what you want, right? For an acoustic guitar, you don't need to add overdrive or distortion. You just want it louder, and you don't want to change the fundamental sound coming from the acoustic guitar. So I think it's doing its job. Basically, the sound of the acoustic guitar is essentially the pickups, right? The acoustic pickup here, which is Takamine's own proprietary pickup system. CT3N or something is their preamp system on this version of the guitar. But yeah, it's pretty good. I'm just going to leave everything at 12 except for reverb and chorus, which I'll leave at 10 o'clock. I think this is a good sound. So yeah, for the rest of the video, I'm just going to leave this at everything at 12 except for reverb and chorus, which are at 10. I think that's good. Okay, so I'm just curious how that compares to the Vox Mini5. So obviously, the Fishman Loudbox Micro, which is an acoustic amp, sounds really good with an acoustic guitar, right? I mean, my acoustic electric guitar. So what I'm curious about is how does the Vox Mini5 handle it, since it's an electric guitar amp, it's not an acoustic amp. So yeah, I'm curious. Because if it does handle it reasonably well, then I might not need the Fishman, right? And just curious to see. Alright, so turn it on. Right now it's running on batteries. The interesting thing is the amp model. I wonder, so it would be kind of weird if I had a high gain model with acoustic guitar. And I'm going to add just a little bit of compression. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit of chorus and a little bit of room reverb, which I guess is what the Loudbox Micro is doing. Trying to get it close to the Loudbox Micro. So adding a little bit of room reverb and a little bit of chorus. So on. Have volume, tone, gain set to 12 right now. Okay. The chorus effect sounds a little bit more fake on this one. It doesn't sound like I'm playing a 12 string. When I play the chorus on the Fishman Loudbox Micro, it sounds like more of like I'm playing a 12 string. On the Vox Mini5, it sounds like fake almost. Yeah, this sounds more like more of a fake effect, so I don't like the chorus on the Vox Mini5 as much. I'll turn that down a bit. Yeah, it doesn't sound as good. I'll just put the compression on then. And that's with medium amount of reverb. Turn reverb down. Turn reverb up. Leave it around mild reverb here. Yeah, it's good, and a little bit of compression is good. And yeah, gain, tone, and volume is set to 12. There's no 3-band EQ here, so there's no, you can't set the mids, the highs, or the lows. There's only one tone control. So yeah, no 3-band EQ on the Vox Mini5. So that's one downside of the Vox Mini5. There's no 3-band EQ. The Fishman Loudbox Micro has it. But I guess I have 3-band EQ on my guitar anyways. So that's also on the boutique setting here, right? Like, does it play through a black face? Or a bassman, Fender bassman? Doesn't sound quite as natural anymore. AC15. AC30. Okay, my Takamine guitar already has so much top end, so much highs, and you add it onto the AC30 top boost, and the highs are just unbearable. Too much. Way too much highs. Okay, Marshall Plexi. Okay, JCM 800. music on an acoustic guitar. That's crazy. Okay, that was just for fun. Line setting right now. This is like the most natural setting because it's not, there's no amp modeling on this one. It's just straight in the signal going through the guitar amp here. So line is actually the one that has the least amount of, this is like the most natural one. Let's see if we can compare that to Boutique Clean, which one's better. Boutique Clean is like way more, yeah, it just sounds like, this it has a lot of high end, but the line one is just. Yeah, I feel like Boutique and Blackface, would Blackface be okay? Which is like a Fender Deluxe Reverb. It's okay. I think the thing with the other amp settings, I mean obviously not the high gain ones, but the lower gain amp settings, it accentuates the top end way too much because this is already a very bright guitar. It's very bright sounding. So when I play it through those, those amp settings, it's just too much high end. It really accentuates the high end of this guitar. Like Boutique is just so jangly and so bright, and same thing with Blackface, or Bassman, or even AC-15. That one starts to have a bit of gain, right, on distortion. But line, sounds warmer. Line sounds warmer. So this sounds warmer, whereas the Boutique sounds way brighter. So I think I might prefer line the best. It's it's just the pure guitar tone, unadulterated. I'll leave it at 5 watts because this is 5 watts right now. That's the full wattage of this amp. So yeah, that's the Vox Mini5. I think on the line setting, it sounds the most natural, although not quite as good as the acoustic amp for sure. Yeah, so it doesn't sound as natural as the Fishman, but yeah, this is probably the best setting for acoustic guitar, is the line setting on the Vox Mini5. But yeah, let's try it on the Fishman. I think the Fishman does, of course, sound a bit more natural. So, play the same chords here. Yeah, the Fishman definitely sounds better, right? It sounds more natural. It's hard to explain, but it's just when I plug my acoustic into the Fishman, I can hear the more natural sounds of the acoustic guitar. It just sounds like an extension of the acoustic guitar. It's just a louder version. Whereas when I plug it into the Vox Mini 5, it sounds like yeah, my guitar's been altered, right? In some way that's not natural. Doesn't sound like an acoustic basically when I plug it into the Vox. So I guess that's the difference between an acoustic amp, like a dedicated acoustic amp, and an electric guitar amp. I've always wondered what exactly are the differences between acoustic guitar amp and electric guitar amp. Well, for me, it seems like from what I'm hearing here, it's just the acoustic guitar amp it just sounds more natural when I plug in my acoustic into it. It sounds like, yeah, it's just taking the fundamental tones and like my strings and everything sounds more articulate. Yeah, just taking the fundamental tones of my acoustic guitar and just amplifying it, making it louder. It's not adding anything unnatural, whereas I plug it into the Vox Mini 5, which is an electric guitar amp, it just feels like it's unnatural. Like this is changing my guitar tone, turning it to something that doesn't sound like an acoustic, basically. So yeah, that's really it. I think that's the major differences here. The Fishman just sounds like, yeah, I plug into the Fishman, it still sounds like I'm playing acoustic. I plug it into the Vox Mini 5, it doesn't sound like I'm playing an acoustic, even on the line mode, right? The line mode is the most neutral one, but even then it doesn't sound like exactly like I'm playing an acoustic compared to the Loudbox Micro. Yeah, this one just sounds way more natural when playing acoustic. So yeah, maybe it's just that's the difference here. It's just the acoustic amp it's specifically designed to amplify acoustic guitars, so they know what frequencies, I guess, and what not to add, and just they know how to make it sound more natural, I guess. Like even the gain, right? You turn up the gain on this thing, it doesn't really add much distortion or anything. It just makes it sound louder. Whereas if you add gain on an electric amp, it's going to add overdrive and distortion, right? So yeah, different. I think that's the different goals, right, for electric guitarists and acoustic guitarists, right? Electric guitarists, like when they want to sound loud, they also want overdrive and distortion. Acoustic guitarists just want to sound louder, but they want to keep their natural tone from the acoustic guitar. They don't want any kind of, weird overdrive, distortion, or changing of their tone. So I think that's the fundamental difference, right? Acoustic guitarists versus electric guitarists. Yeah, electric guitarists always want to change up their tone, I guess, with a bunch of different effects and different amp models and stuff. Acoustic guitarists just want to sound as natural as possible, just louder. Alright, so I'm going to play a few songs from using this amp, and yeah, I'm probably going to keep the Fishman Loudbox Micro. It just sounds way more natural to me. I was just curious, like, how does an electric guitar amp take an acoustic electric, right? But yeah, it just, I guess that's the difference. It just doesn't sound as natural with the electric guitar amp. So I'll be playing the Loudbox Micro, and yeah, a few different songs. So I'll also be using the mic input, and then I'll be singing and playing at the same time. So I'll be using the full capabilities of this amp, so stay tuned. Alright, so now I have my microphone plugged in. It's a Rode Pod mic that I usually use for my computer, but it also has an XLR output. So I connected it to the Fishman Loudbox Micro. Again, to demonstrate, I have my highs and lows set at noon right now, and gain also set to noon. So I can do testing, 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 and this is gain set up to full. And I can have a bit of reverb on here as well. So if I, right now reverb is about 10. So if I turn it up to a heavy reverb, so now you guys can hear like a heavy echo, right? So yeah, you guys can hear a really heavy echo if I turn up the reverb. And yeah, if you turn up the gain too much, you'll start feedbacking. But yeah, I think I have to turn the gain up a bit more on this because I'll be like a little bit far from this microphone. Microphone really has to be close to me like this, okay. Alright, put reverb at about 10. Okay, turn up master volume a bit. Okay, so I have some songs I'm gonna play. I used to hurry a lot, I used to worry a lot, I used to stay out till the break of day. Ooh, that didn't get it, time I quit it, just couldn't carry on that way. despite which you had to hurt it. Who is gonna make it? We'll find out in the long run, in the long run. I know we can take it if our love is a strong one, is a strong one. Well, we're scared but we ain't shaking. We're kinda bent but we ain't breaking. In the long run, ooh, I wanna tell you in the long run. We'll find out in the long run. You'll see in the long run. Yeah, 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 it's a long run. All alone at the end of the evening, and the bright lights have faded to blue. And I was thinking about a woman who might love me, but I never knew. You know I've always been a dreamer. I spend my life running around, and it's so hard to change, and can't seem to settle down. And the dreams I've seen lately keep on turning out and burning out and turning out the same. So put me on the highway and show me a sign, and take it to the limit one more time. You can spend all your time making money, or you can spend all your love making time. If it all fell to pieces tomorrow, would you still be mine? When you're looking for your freedom, nobody seems to care. You can't find the door, you can't find it anywhere. There's nothing to believe in. Instead you're coming back, you're running back, you're coming back for more. So put me on the highway and show me a sign, and take it to the limit one more time. And take it to the limit, and take it to the limit. Won't you take it to the limit one more time? The city girls just seem to find out early how to open doors with just a smile. A rich old man, she won't have to worry. She'll dress up all in lace and go in style. Late at night, a big old house gets lonely. Guess every form of refuge has its price, and it breaks her heart to think her love is only given to a man with hands as cold as ice. So she tells him she must go out for the evening, comfort an old friend who's feeling down. He knows where she's going as she's leaving. She's headed for the cheating side of town. You can't hide your lying eyes, and your smile's a friendly disguise. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, and I said, it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, and I say, it's alright. Little darling, the smiles return into their faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, do-do-do. Here comes the sun, and I say, it's alright. Sun, sun, sun. Sun, sun, sun. Sun, sun, sun. Alright, so anyways, that's the demo, the Fishman Loudbox Micro. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I think this is a nice acoustic guitar amp, although it's not really meant to be used outside or anything because it's not battery powered. But so yeah, I mean, it would have been nice if it was used for busking, right? Because you know you have a mic input and everything. But no, I think this is more for like use at home. So you can just, for me, like I'm doing stuff like this for YouTube. Like I'm playing like acoustic guitar for YouTube. I'm at home. I just need a louder acoustic guitar. I think this is a good way to do it. So yeah, I think that's basically what it's good for. Like playing at home and practicing at home, and you can sing into a microphone, and you just want like your acoustic guitar to be louder, basically. Like if you have like a thin line acoustic guitar like me, or like a parlor model that's not as loud as a orchestra or dreadnought model, then yeah, this is a pretty good way to get to louder tone from your acoustic guitar. It sounds very natural to me. So anyways, Fishman Loudbox Micro. It's a great way to amplify your acoustic guitar. It sounds very natural to me. Decent amount of features, and yeah, I think it does its job well. So it's not that expensive either, $250. So just have it around the house somewhere, and you can just pick it up to play at any time, or even at a party if you want to entertain some guests. Then we all know how loud house parties can be, and you just take out this one to amplify your acoustic guitar, and then you can everyone will pay attention to you, right? Even at a party, this can definitely cut through the mix because it's 40 watts. So anyways, yeah, it comes with a built-in XLR input for your microphone, as well as a DI output just for your mixer or your preamp, or external preamp or something. So yeah, definitely a decent amount of features, and yeah, just a good way to amplify your acoustic guitar if you need more volume from your acoustic guitar at home. So guys, let me know if you have any questions about any of the Vox Mini5 or the Fishman amp, or just anything else. Let me know. As always, thanks for watching.